Good evening. I'm Daphne Adler. I'm one of the counselors here at Los Altos High School, and I am so excited to introduce all of you to Emma Schwartz. She is from University of York in England, and she is going to be leading a workshop tonight for us about UCAS, which is the main hub for UK applications. And we've had more and more students in recent years applying to universities in the UK, and the application is quite different from the American one. So Emma's gonna tell us a whole lot of stuff and walk us through it. And then please save questions for the end and put them in the chat, and we will get to as many questions as we can. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Emma. Thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, thank you, Daphne. It's wonderful to be here alongside one of the most amazing counselors there ever was. So thank you for all joining us. I'll go ahead and share my screen and share the sound as well. So today we're going to talk about UCAS and applying to the UK, and just go over a few of the benefits of studying abroad as well. So why choose the UK for your education or your students' education? You'll really gain a global mindset and explore the world studying abroad. And you can really receive your full degree while you go abroad. And for example, at the University of York, our degrees are 3 years for a bachelor's. So you're really getting a great insight into a different culture while studying in the UK, very close to other countries in Europe as well. Once again, 3-year bachelor's and 1-year master's degree. So we have a lot of joint programs. So 4 years, a student could essentially get a master's in astrophysics within 4 years, both a bachelor's and a master's. We have a very timely completion. York in particular has over 90% completion rate within the 3 or 4 years. So you and your students will really be able to finish on time and go straight into your career goals or whatever is next for you. It's relatively affordable compared to other universities, potentially in the US and other countries. We'll go in a little deeper to price comparisons in just a few slides. And we have transparent admissions requirements. So we'll also talk a little bit about the admissions requirements and what we're really looking for on the UCAS application. So just want to touch on the many benefits to international education. I think one of my favorites on this slide is personal growth, learning about other cultures and being immersed in a different country alongside students from all over the world. You really grow as a person, and in turn, you become a great citizen of the world and very successful and employable in the future. Cost comparisons. We're taking a look at a few options across, I do have Australia on here as well, across the UK, and how it compares to some in-state and out-of-state tuition. So for example, the University of Glasgow in Scotland, Queen's Belfast University in Northern Ireland, and University of York, all around $30,000, if not less, to attend. I also included University of Roehampton, London, which is about $19,000 for tuition, and that is per year. And remember, 3-year bachelor's degrees, so you may be saving money and having a more affordable education. Moving forward, what is UCAS? So how do you experience studying abroad and applying to the UK? You first start with UCAS. It is going to be that centralized system. All students from around the world can apply to UK universities. I'll go in a little deeper, but you will choose 5 courses from 5 universities. There's no preference order. Your colleges will not see, your university choices will not see your other choices. So don't worry about that. There's no early action or early decision. Everyone is considered equally. UCAS is used for universities all across the UK, which include England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. The full application fee for all 5 universities is about $35 in US dollars. And there is no upload feature for documents. So sometimes, like for York, you might want to send some supporting documents. You would send that to our undergraduate admissions email instead of uploading it onto your general application. So we're going to just take a little, I recorded a Loom video to show the inside of the application so you can get a little insight. as to what that looks like. And we will just go ahead. Are you all able to
Hi
see that?
everyone, Emma here with the University of York. I'm so excited to tell you more about the UCAS application, a centralized service that allows students from around the world to apply to amazing universities in the United Kingdom. Here we are on the application dashboard, a wonderful way to find out what university would be like in the UK and explore all the amazing undergraduate options. On the left side, you'll find your application dashboard. Let's go ahead and click on it to see what to expect throughout the process. You'll choose 5 universities if you find 5 programs at those universities that suit your interests. For example, I chose biology. I chose 5 biology programs across 5 different universities. It's really important to have a centralized interest in a subject while applying to the UK, as most degrees are about 3 years long. You will go straight into studying biology or biological sciences your first year. So it's important that you gear your application towards studying biology, for example, including your reference, potentially explaining your biology classes, your personal statement going into detail as to why you'd want to study the subject, and potentially your education section listing all of those science classes you've taken that, exemplify why you would be a good fit for the program. Speaking of your profile, here are the main parts of the application.
I'm going to skip a little bit so we don't have to listen to all of this, but just wanted to give you a little insight into the application, including this education section. We're just going to skip ahead a little bit.
To show UK application reviewers your academic achievements, since this is a large part of how UK-based evaluators see if you're a good fit for the program. For example, I indicated I went to Los Altos High School. Let's go ahead and add all the qualifications underneath that high school. It will first pop up with UK-based qualifications, but you'll go ahead and scroll down and type in USA in the search bar. And first you will add your high school diploma. Your qualification date will, of course, be June, potentially 2022 if you're graduating this year, and your grade will be pending. You'll then go ahead and add all of your classes. Now, it's important to add those AP or honors classes to the module list. Module equals class. A great way to show your academic achievements through this section. You'll go ahead and save that after you've added all your classes. For example, adding all your other qualifications, go ahead and type in USA again, ACT, advanced placement tests, which are important in many UK university evaluations, and much more.
So that's going to give you a little insight into the application and what is important on the application. I just thought that was more helpful to kind of see the inside of the application and what to expect. And all of you will have the full video so you can see more application details in the full video. All right, moving forward. What are we looking for in UK admissions? Through the UCAS process, like I was saying in the short video, the UK admissions evaluators are really looking at your academic suitability for a program. So as you can see, the US admissions sometimes is more a holistic review, whereas UK is going to look at test scores, academics achieved and projected, your application essay, which will be your personal statement, one reference, and your suitability for the program. So as I mentioned before, you're going to want to have that centralized interest, for example, biology, and all of your interests within the application will, all of your supporting details in the application will support why you want to study biology. So what happens next? What's the timeline look like for the UCAS application? Here's a little rough detailed map of what to expect throughout the timeline of the UCAS. So in September, you'll start your application and you can go ahead and log on even sooner to go to your UCAS hub and start to really research which universities would suit your interests in particular. And then throughout the process, I really suggest you reach out to each university that you find interesting. So for instance, I'm here in California on your time zone, and if you were to see York as an option, I'm here to talk to you. There's more than 20 other representatives within the US and abroad that can help you every step of the way through this application process and tell you more about their universities. You will hear back by March typically. However, York is actually rolling admission. So you should hear back within a couple weeks of submitting your application. Let's move forward here. So once again, I've applied. What would be the next step? You can send supporting documents to our undergraduate admissions email. Remember, you cannot upload those documents to your actual application. So it's important that the application reviewers in the UK, since they are not really familiar with the US system, have all of your test scores, your transcripts that show honors and AP classes, and all your educational accolades that show your achievements. We are rolling admissions once again, and I really want to dig in to the conditional offer versus the unconditional offer. So if you were to apply to the UK, I know a lot of you are juniors or even seniors at the moment. If you are interested in applying, you would receive a conditional offer since you are still in the process of graduating high school, taking your AP tests, etc., still in process of finishing those achievements. You will receive a conditional offer. You must meet the conditions after you finalize your test scores and your high school diploma. Then you'll receive an unconditional offer once you fulfill those academic achievements, and then you apply for your student visa. So I want to, before we go into Q&A, I want to just tell you a little bit more about York and Russell Group institutions. The University of York is a part of the Russell Group, which is the top 24 elite research universities in the UK. So like I said, there's 24, many to explore. So I'm so glad that you're starting this exploration process early and seeing what is out there. So York is nominated for University of the Year. I always like to mention that because we really were very accommodating during the COVID-19 crisis and just really treated our students amazing. We gave them care packages. We allowed them to suspend their final assessments to when they feel ready. And yeah, just a fantastic place to be for mental health and support. I highlighted some programs here. We're top in archaeology, biology and chemistry, business and management, computer science, English, international relations, micromechanical engineering, PPE, psychology, theater, film, TV, and interactive media. And those all kind of show the vast degree options we have. So really, maybe whatever you're interested in, we probably will have it. We have over 200 sports and societies and 65 sports clubs, and we have excellent career services. So not over 90% go on to a career or graduate school after graduating. So once again, we are a fantastic world-class university. First in overall satisfaction, these are brand new statistics from the past week. And we recently invested £500 million into new student accommodation. So all of you can experience brand new facilities, and everyone gets their own room on campus. So that is a commonality between a lot of English universities. So you will have your own dorm room if you were to study at York as a freshman. Just a couple testimonials to highlight what York is all about. During lockdown, we benefited from continuous advice, support, and gift packages to lighten the heavy feeling we should be University of the Year because of our community's resilience. So fantastic place to be, both academically, socially, and for your mental health well-being. We will be there every step of the way. Here's my information, although I will absolutely send everything to Daphna afterwards, the full application details, and I'll be here every step of the way. Even if you weren't to apply to York, I will lead you to the correct resource that you are looking for. And I'd love to take the last 10, 15 minutes, however much time we have. Oh, we have a lot of time left. So I would love to take that time to go a little deeper and answer any questions you might have.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Emma. That was really, really terrific information. And I want to let everyone know before people drop off, we are going to be having our very first college fair on campus for the first time in over 2 years. And it's going to be an international college fair on April 20th. And Emma's going to be there in person.
Yes.
She's going to represent York, and we're going to have about 20 other universities from UK, Ireland, Australia, Switzerland, Italy. So like a whole bunch of countries. So we really, really encourage students to come and check it out. And, you know, it's a very, very personalized process. So we want students to be asking questions and reaching out. There's so much help and support to help navigate this process.
Yes,
all right.
Absolutely, Daphne. I completely agree.
We have
I do see a question in the chat box about Cambridge and Oxford. Yes, but it is a little bit of a different process. If you want to drop your email privately, I can tell you a little more about that process and lead you to the right resources. Highly suggest, shoot for the stars. Definitely go for your dream school, but know that there are so many other options within the Russell group as well. I'm sure, you are a fantastic student. So yes, happy to send you some more information on that. Passing exams. How does medical insurance coverage work for international students? That's a fantastic question as well. So with medical insurance, when you apply for your student visa, which allows you to study in the UK for the duration of your degree, so that would be 3 years potentially for your bachelor's, you pay a surcharge within that visa and you're covered by the NHS, which is the National Health Service for the UK. I do have a detailed guide once you were to accept your offer at York, and I'm sure a lot of other universities would show you where to find the nearest doctor to register with them. And being an international student, you will be covered with the general health care. So definitely find a doctor on a near campus. Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, there's particular processes. Once you apply and receive a conditional offer, that really binds you to our university. We're going to send you so many helpful resources to help you through that visa process, because that's, it's not something we do every day, applying for a student visa. So we understand how that task can be, and we will give you the utmost support through that integration process. Please ask away. We do have some extra time here. We did not run over. I can kind of just keep chatting about the application, and you can create a username and password right now to log on to the hub and kind of explore all those degree options. I can drop it in the chat as well. I know it sounds like some people are leaving, but some people are still here.
Emma, could you talk a little bit about doing research on UCAS? So like, apart from the actual application, why would a student go to UCAS? Like, what can they find there, in other words?
Yeah, so they'll find fantastic resources. You will find a full search engine on the UCAS for undergraduate degrees. So you're able to search a keyword. So you'll find every single university across the United Kingdom that offers that degree. You'll also find helpful links as to what university would be like in the UK in particular. You could also kind of take like a self-assessment and rank, some schools. So this self-discovery process can all happen now. And I can also help with that too. Like I said, sending some, it's always great to talk to someone who works for the university. And I guarantee you there might be someone in the country that could help you with that particular university application. Do the UK universities accept transfer? Yes. Oh my gosh, that's such a great question that I wanted to include in my presentation, but I was nervous I would go over. So I'm really glad that you asked. So yes, the answer is yes, we do. And I highly suggest it because for a lot of students, because maybe you don't have 3 AP tests out of 4 or 5. So as I mentioned in that short video, that UK app reviewers a lot of times look for that 3 AP tests out of 4 or 5. And if you don't have that, it can be a little harder to get into certain programs. I'm here to help with that if you have questions, but we take transfer students with 1 year of community college. I mean, how great is that? I didn't have an AP test out of 5, when I graduated high school. So that's a great option. You could go to a year of community college. You could go to 2 years of community college. But on our website under entry requirements, you will find that you have 1 year of community college. You are, that would be suffice for your admissions requirements. And I will link that right now, just really quickly. Our entry requirements, so you have that. So you'll find a lot of Russell Group universities, so those top 24 elite universities are looking for 3 AP tests, but they'll also look at community college coursework because that's college level. So just to remind you that you will be going straight into your degree. So let's say you are studying biology, it's a 3-year degree, no general education. So you do need to transfer in those college level classes in order to, have that suffice for your program.
Can I chime in with something? So
Yes.
one of the things that has happened as a result of COVID is that many American students were not able to test with SAT or ACT, which some universities require, and a lot of the universities abroad have been a bit more flexible with that. And many schools will accept community college work in lieu of some of this testing, whether it's AP or SAT. Would you say that's true, Emma?
Yes, I would say that's definitely true for a majority of programs, to be honest with you. I know that there are some, for instance, at York, like master's in computer science, where you get your bachelor's and your master's, they're going to look closely at like a math AP test or, whatever it may be. But generally, we are looking at those college level courses, and we do not require you have an SAT or an ACT. So that testing requirement is just, don't worry about that. You do not need to include that on your application. But those qualifications, like I showed you with Los Altos High School, then you'll keep adding those qualifications. Every little bit helps because they do not come from our system. You want to make sure that you're showing that you are an excellent academic student and that you've really put in the work and completed honors or AP or college level classes.
Right. Awesome. Thank you. And for students, I want to also emphasize that there's a massive range here, very similar to the US, right? Where there are schools that are really, really selective and there are schools that are pretty easy to get into and everything in between. And one of the cool things about UCAS and the UK system is the transparency. Here, students can apply to pretty much any amount of schools that they want, right? And we have a concept of like reach schools and target schools and likely schools. And sometimes students will be like, well, I'm just going to try for a really, really reachy school, just going to try. In the UK, it's very different because you can only apply to 5 and you have to be very, very thoughtful. And they're going to tell you, you need XYZ qualifications. If you do not have those, you will not get into that school. It's nothing personal. It's just how the system works. And it actually makes it really clear. So you don't get attached to stuff thinking, oh, maybe, yes. Right? Like the American system is so non-transparent in that way. Yes. So it really helps you to plan and know, like, I have a really good chance here. I'm definitely going to get in here. And so that's one of the big differences with the systems.
Yes. I just went back a little bit back to this slide because I think it's important to note that we are really looking at the individual in a specific way, with those test scores, the application essay, reference, and suitability for the program. I like to say that you're not necessarily applying to the school, but you're applying to the program. So that interest has to be very strong. Let's say in international relations, or there's many great degrees to explore in the UK, and it's a fantastic system. And I think it's just such a great culture. I studied abroad in the UK, and here I am today, hopefully convincing you all to do the same. It's fantastic professors. It's kind of an experiential education, and you don't have busy work. So it's usually a culminating assessment at the end of your class. So you won't have, a quiz or homework due every week. It is very, I think something came up in the chat. Do you write 5 different essays for 5 different schools? No, That's a great question. You have that centralized application that shows your interest in biology. So your personal statement will be for the program, not the university. So yeah, and I'm going to send this PowerPoint to Daphne right after this, and that link tour of UCAS, I explained that a little bit more in there. So you will have that information, but really just expressing your interest in a particular subject and how you've explored that interest during your high school career as well.
Absolutely.
One reference can be from teachers, counselors. Yes, that is correct.
Yes. Let me mention one thing. From a counselor perspective, I would really recommend that students ask their teachers. The reason for that is it's very different than here. When a counselor writes a student's letter of recommendation, it's sort of a global view of that student, how they've grown over 4 years, touches on academics, on activities, character, all these different things. In the UK, it is highly academically based. They want to know about the student in the classroom. Your teachers are going to have the absolute best insight into that. And you would want to choose a teacher in a subject related to your field of study, ideally. So you can ask your counselor. It's not that your counselor doesn't want to. We are not going to be the best people to speak about you in that detailed of a way academically.
Yes, thank you, Daphne. That's a great example, coming from that perspective, your perspective, and just reading some of these statements that come from teachers as well. They really give a good insight as to what kind of student you are. Like, oh, you got a straight A's, so they really know you in that way. Another thing, if you can, and if maybe you haven't taken a million APs or whatever it may be, have them kind of explain the nature of your coursework or what you've done outside of school to get more insight if you haven't potentially taken a ton of APs. What else have you done? So a little more insight.
Perfect. All right. On that note, we do need to end, and we have another session at 7. So thank you again, Emma. And I want to mention one more time, International College Fair, April 20th, right after school. It's an SBAC testing day. So students get out at like 2:19 or something. So right after. We also have Scottish University reps coming at lunch that day, and like a whole bunch of other smaller events happening in April. So keep your ears open for announcements. It's super exciting, and it's going to be kind of a regular thing at Los Altos of having programming around this for students who are interested in learning more. So thanks to everyone for being here, and Emma.
Thank you all. Thank you. I can't wait to see you in person on April 20th. And we have the best reps in the world. You're going to love them. So thank you. Thank you.
Have a great night, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.